3, Stage 5, Lesson 62. Care. Care. What does the word care mean? What does the word care mean?
The word care means cuidar.
Who cared for you when you were a child? Who cared for you when you were a child?
My mother cared for me when I was a child.
Do you think the young ought to care for the old? Do you think the young ought to care for the old?
Yes, I think the young ought to care for the old.
Do you care what people think or say about you? Do you care what people think or say about you?
No, I don't care what people think or say about me.
Hurry, take one's time, appointment.
Hurry, take one's time, appointment.
If you were late for a very important appointment, would you take your time? If you were late for a very important appointment, would you take your time?
No, if I was late for a very important appointment, I wouldn't take my time, but I would hurry.
Why is it sometimes a bad thing to hurry? Why is it sometimes a bad thing to hurry?
It's sometimes a bad thing to hurry because we can't do things well when we hurry.
Would you take your time going home if somebody told you your house was on fire? Would you take your time going home if somebody told you your house was on fire?
No, I wouldn't take my time going home if somebody told me my house was on fire.
What's the translation of I am in a hurry? What's the translation of I am in a hurry?
The translation of I am in a hurry is tengo afán.
Very good. Plenty of. Plenty of.
Plenty of.
What words can we use instead of a lot of? What words can we use instead of a lot of?
We can use plenty of instead of a lot of.
Do people hurry when they have plenty of time? Do people hurry when they have a lot of time?
No, people don't hurry when they have plenty of time, but they take their time.
What's the opposite of plenty of water? What's the opposite of plenty of water?
The opposite of plenty of water is little water.
Very good. For, since, period. For, since, period. We came into this room at 6 o'clock. The time now is 6:30. Consequently, we have been in this room for half an hour. We have been in this room since 6 o'clock. We use the word for when we say the period of time. For example, for half an hour, for 2 weeks, for 6 months. Half an hour is a period of time. We use the word since when we say the time at which the period begin. For example, since 6 o'clock, since last Monday, since January, etc. So, what's the difference between since and for? What's the difference between since and for?
The difference between since and for is that we use for when we say the period of time.
Why?
Well, if we use since when we say the period in which, no, the time in which the period began.
Very good. Give me some examples, please.
I've been here for half an hour. I've been here since 6 o'clock. I've been studying English for 5 years. I've been studying English since 2007.
Excellent. So, how long have you been in this room for? How long have you been in this room for?
I've been in this room for half an hour.
That's it. Since when has she been in this room? How long, since when has she been in this room?
She's been in this room since 6 o'clock.
About how long have you known me for? About how long have you known me for?
I've known you for about 3 months.
And since when? Since when?
Since February.
Very good. Have you bought any new clothes in the last 6 months? Have you bought any new clothes in the last 6 months?
Yes, I've bought some new clothes in the last 6 months.
Very good. Have you bought any new clothes since last Christmas? Have you bought any new clothes since last Christmas?
Yes, I've bought some new clothes since last Christmas.
Studies.
Studies.
Did you find English pronunciation a little difficult at the beginning of your studies? Did you find an English pronunciation a little difficult at the beginning of your studies?
Yes, I found English pronunciation a little difficult at the beginning of my studies.
Lend, lent, lent. Lend, lent, lent. Return.
Return.
Would you lend me some money if I asked you? Would you lend me some money if I asked you?
Yes, I'll lend you some money if you ask me.
If you lent somebody a lot of money and they didn't return it, what would you do? If you lent somebody a lot of money and they didn't return it, what would you do?
If I lent somebody a lot of money and they didn't return it, I would look for them.
That's it. Christian name, surname, John. Christian name, surname, John. What's your Christian name? What's your Christian name?
My Christian name is Marta.
What's your surname? What's your surname?
My surname is Farah.
Famous, famous. Name a few famous people in history. Name a few famous people in history.
A few famous people in history are Napoleon, Michelangelo, President Kennedy, etc.
Industrial. Industrial. What's the most industrial town in your country? What's the most industrial town in your country?
Bogota is the most industrial town in my country.
Agricultural. Agricultural.
Agricultural.
What's the most agricultural part of your country? What's the most agricultural part of your country?
Boyacá is the most agricultural part of my country.
Excellent. Apologize, apology, keep somebody waiting. Apologize, apology, keep somebody waiting. What do we say when we apologize for doing something wrong? What do we say when we apologize for doing something wrong?
When we apologize for doing something wrong, we say, for example, I'm sorry if I kept you waiting, or forgive me for keeping you waiting, etc.
Very good. What's the noun of the verb apologize? What's the noun of the verb apologize?
Apology is the noun of the verb apologize.
Very good. Avoid.
Avoid.
Can we help to avoid becoming ill? Can we help to avoid becoming ill?
Yes, we can help to avoid becoming ill.
Excellent. Bend. Bend.
Bend.
Must you bend down if you want to touch your feet? Must you bend down if you want to touch your feet?
No, I don't have to bend down if I want to touch my feet, but it's the easiest way.
Very good. Century. Century. Which do you think was the best century in history to live in? Which do you think was the best century in history to live in?
I think the best century in history to live in was the 20th century.
Fashion. Fashion. Do you like the fashion in clothes these days? Do you like the fashion in clothes these days?
Yes, I like the fashion in clothes
these days. Excellent. Gate. 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 Does this school have a gate? Does this school have a gate?
Yes, this school has a gate.
Very good. Understanding the grammar.
Understanding the grammar.
Worry, disheartened. Worry, disheartened. In this book, there is quite a lot of grammar. You will perhaps find some of this difficult to understand or remember. You must not, however, worry too much about this. The grammar will be repeated many times, but if you still do not understand, you must not to be worried. You can still learn English without understanding the grammar. You must remember that you learned your language without knowing any grammar. The grammar in this book is here to help you learn the language by showing you how the language is put together. You should try your very best to understand the grammar, but do not be disheartened if you fail to understand everything. Sometimes the understanding will come later in your studies. Is there quite a lot of grammar in this book? Is there quite a lot of grammar in this book?
Yes, there is quite a lot of grammar in this book.
Will some of you find some of the grammar difficult to understand? Will some of you find some of the grammar difficult to understand?
Yes, some of us will find some of the grammar difficult to understand.
Very good. Can you still learn English without understanding the grammar? Can you still learn English without understanding the grammar?
Yes, I can still learn English without understanding the grammar.
Very good. Did you learn your language without knowing any grammar? Did you learn your language without understanding any grammar?
Yes, I learned my language without understanding any grammar.
What is the grammar in this book trying to do? What is the grammar in this book trying to do?
The grammar in this book is trying to help me learn the language by showing me how it is used.
Very good. Should you try your very best to understand the grammar? Should you try your very best to understand the grammar.
Yes, I should try my very best to understand the grammar.
Why should you not worry or be disheartened if you fail to understand everything? Why should you not worry or be disheartened if you fail to understand everything?
I should not worry or be disheartened if I don't understand everything, because I will still learn English without knowing the grammar.
Very good. End of lesson 62.